feeling like I'm academics.
I guess we could talk about. Should we talk about the Joe Biden thing? Did Joe Biden actually make the announcement? Okay. So Joe Biden recently, who caught, he caught that Rona. He officially has taken himself out the race, and he will no longer run for re-election come this November. Basically, he wrote a letter, and in the letter, I will read it here. He says, "My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors." We know he need them, right? In expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could be done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I have always have. There is nothing America can. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. Okay. He also sent out a tweet. See if I can find that. I went to Joe Budden's page. All right. Joe Biden, what did he say? He said, "My fellow Democrats, I have decided to not accept the nomination and focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My very first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's the best decision I've made. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." Okay? So he tweeted that. Basically tweeted out a link that people could go donate to her. Apparently, she gained a record amount of donations, like 80 million, like in a few hours or whatever the case is. And and Trump was still doing him. Trump basically wrote a scathing tweet, I guess you call it a tweet, on Truth Social. He says, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president. Is certainly not fit to serve. It never was. He only attained the position of president by lies, fake news, and not leaving his basement." God damn it. "All those around him, including his doctor and the media, knew he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't. And now, look what he's done to our country, with millions of people coming across our border totally unchecked and totally unvetted. Where was I? Many prisons, mental institutions, and a record number of terrorists. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly. Make America great again." Right? Yeah. So essentially, our boy is, Trump is trying to push forward, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Obviously, Kamala Harris seems to, I believe the the DNC said that she's going to be the nominee. We had a wide range of people reacting to it, including one Charleston White who has an interesting take about possibly voting for a black queen or maybe a mixed queen. I wonder if Kendrick thinks she's not like us too. Or maybe it's only Drake. Drake the only mulatto nigga he don't like. Everybody else is cool. But listen to Charleston White on what he thinks about Kamala Harris possibly being the president, or at least running for the president of the United States.
And man, they got me fucked up. I wouldn't dare vote for no black bitch. Now, listen, I was raised by black women. I got a grandmother, I got black sisters, but I wouldn't dare put no black woman in no motherfucking position of the White House. The commander-in-chief of the military, a black woman. Not only that, a mixed black bitch married to a white man. Her pH balance is way off with that white dick. Man, you can't make me believe. Hell no, man.
That nigga said her pH balance is off.
Kamala Harris got a white boy. Her pH balance is off, and her mental stability got to be off. A hoe would have thrown off pH balance unless she's sneaking and fucking.
I ain't gonna lie to you. This week is the first time I've seen Kamala Harris in years. Like, I've seen Frank Ocean more. Like, she did the Frank Ocean. She just dipped. But apparently she's back.
A nigga. Now, if she's sneaking and fucking a nigga, then we might can let her be vice president. But there's no way. America, I'd rather for black people to go back to slavery than let a black woman run this goddamn country.
I think he's speaking tongue in
Don't
cheek,
do
obviously.
it. Say, listen, man, I'm against anything with a black woman running shit. Motherfucker, bitch, you get your ass back in that bedroom and in the kitchen. But the White House, America, we can't do this here now. Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather have another motherfucking civil war before we let a bitch run this motherfucker. Got me fucked up. Go back and get Barack, if anything. Find another mixed baby. But don't put no bitch in there. Man.
Okay. Now, here's my thoughts on this whole thing. To be honest, I think if you're about to vote for Biden, obviously Biden's not my choice this year, right? If you're about to vote for Biden, you should vote for Kamala Harris. I honestly believe that the Democrats, ever since, and I think Barack to a certain extent, I think if you follow basketball, you know, and they'll be like, yo, so-and-so's a system player. They used to say it about Kawhi Leonard. I think the president of if the president is a Democrat, I don't think they're running shit. I think they're a mouthpiece, and I think they're the person to look strong and seem strong. And that's why you got to get Biden out of the way. He looks too weak and feeble and frail, and America got to showcase some type of strength. Now, in terms of like making decisions and actually really running the country and, you know, I'm operating and dealing with everything that the executive branch really deals with, I don't think that Biden been running this country for the last couple of years anyway. So if Kamala takes over the job, I don't think nothing will change. So if you thought the country was doing a good job, I think y'all should vote for Kamala Harris, right? Like this whole thing about like, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris ain't having no black moment up in the goddamn White House. You know what I mean? Listen, you know what Kamala Harris is going to be doing? Granted, even though I probably prefer Michelle Obama, she's going to be doing the Michelle Obama, reading to kids, singing, two-stepping, like, you know what I mean, going to Beyonce concerts and clapping. She's not going to be doing the motherfucking thing, my nigga. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're going to call them the big boys when it's time to go negotiate with Russia and motherfucking, like, you know, North Korea and shit. Like, again, I completely believe, and I'm not only saying it for the the Democratic Party. I think the Republicans usually have, like, a puppet there, too. I just don't think Trump is on some puppet shit because I think he'll torch the whole bitch. But I do believe that if you feel like the Democratic, you know, bills or laws that and how they've governed it for the last 4 years, that been working for you, you shouldn't be that mad that Kamala Harris is the president. If anything, you should probably rejoice. I'm gonna be honest with you. At least Kamala Harris could finish a sentence. At least you could probably talk without looking at a teleprompter. She won't read like words on the teleprompter she ain't supposed to read. It would be like, yo, stop here. Like she'll like that nigga. I think Biden read some shit that he wasn't supposed to read. Yeah. So I personally believe that Kamala is not a bad choice, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm hoping that if her race is the only thing that people got against her, I think that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Again, do I think she would be a good president? No, but I don't think that Biden was a good president. I think they're the same. So again, if you fucked with Biden, you should fuck with Kamala, right? Now, it's kind of interesting because they said, like, the step down of Biden has given new life to the party, and apparently she's up in the polls on, or one particular poll on Donald Trump. And, yeah, if that's the case, well, it is what it is. But all I'm saying is that I don't believe that And I'll explain my Barack point too. I know I'm not no fucking genius when it comes to politics. I think the reason we didn't see Barack Obama do more for black people is because, again, he was a puppet. I think the people who run the executive branch of government when there's a Democratic president ain't the person that is elected as president. They have a regime and they just use that person as the puppet and the face of it. And yes, Barack was black, but we saw a lot of things done for most other communities and not the black community. Not because he didn't care, it's because he not really calling the shots. That's what I think. You could disagree, and I think it's the same thing with Biden. And I said, if you like that and that was cool, you should vote for Kamala. Fuck it, let it rock. You know what I mean? We'll see how that goes. You get what I'm saying? All right. Let's see. The next thing I'm gonna jump into this real quick about it. Let me just play Trump. Trump is hilarious. Yo, this is another thing. And I hate to go on like political spiel. I don't really care what y'all vote for. Me tell y'all what I vote for. I don't want y'all to vote with me. Matter of fact, none of y'all vote with me, bro. Let me vote by myself, my nigga. Like, I just don't care. So I'm not trying to convince nobody. But I do say this about people who are like really like, oh, I'm just, no, we can't have a Republican in there. Or even if you're like, oh, we just can't have a Democrat in there. Bro, if you're a regular human, you're going to agree with certain things on both sides. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't care if you're a Democrat, and even if you don't like Trump or you think Trump is racist or whatever, what he's saying, what he's about to say here, I think most people agree with, right? Like, listen.
Will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end immediately. I
think most reasonable people agree with that. Niggas should not be playing in the WNBA. Men should not be sprinting against women. Right? Men should not be in some type of UFC fighting against women. Like, that's not fair. Cool with all that trans stuff. We got ya. But listen, we got to leave sports to the biological women. We could come up with another league for y'all trans motherfuckers. Y'all go get y'all shit going on right there, and y'all could turn up and do whatever the fuck y'all want. But leave the biological women alone, bro. Like, every time I read some wacky story of a goddamn wrestler, this nigga look like he's fully bearded up, look big and buff, talking about he's identifying himself, talking about his pronoun is she and her and all that type of bullshit. She about to snap the ankle of these little girls. Like, come the fuck on. I don't think you need to be a Democrat or Republican, and I know some people, they just love the trans agenda and whatever, that's cool. But, bruh, we all got to agree on this dumb shit right here. Niggas go compete versus niggas, women compete versus women, and y'all trans people, I think y'all should compete versus yourselves. You get what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, not going too much on politics. Oh, this is my last clip I'm going to play. Yo, my boy Biden looked like he about to drop dead, bro. I feel like Secret Service is looking at him, and if Biden ever, like, just fell to the ground, they wouldn't even think he was shot. They were like, oh, there you go. He passed away. It's over. Nigga finally died. Like, look how frail this nigga looks. The way this nigga walking, bruh. Yo, Donald Trump got shot in the air by a goddamn 223 bullet, nigga. And that nigga looks stronger than this nigga. He caught a common cold. They're calling it COVID, nigga. And this motherfucker looked like he could barely walk, barely breathe. Look like he's hanging on for dear life. Look at everybody's face in the back. Look like they're like, oh, you don't know if you're going to make it to the next part.
President, how are you feeling?
Mr. President, how are you feeling?
How are you feeling,
How are you feeling?
Well, come talk to us.
Come on.
How are you feeling since you dropped out of the race, sir?
How are you feeling about Harris's campaign?
Can Harris beat Trump?
Did Harris beat Trump, Mr. President?
Pray for Sleepy Joe, man. Anyway, yo, did y'all see this?